Hello. It has been a little while since last I did a conversation video, so I thought let's make another conversation video. Yeah, it hasn't quite been a year, but getting close to a year. It was maybe Mars last year or something like that when I did the last conversation. The reason I don't do these very often is, mainly because I forget. I just forget to do them. Because they're very easy to record. I just sit down and put the camera up and the microphone and I just talk. But as I said, I tend to forget to do them. And also, it's that I don't like to record anything on work days, like when I've been working. I try to want to avoid that. And on weekends, I usually record both on Saturday, like a full recording session of 4 video game episodes, and same on Sunday. And I don't want to spend more time recording than I already have. But today is like an extra day off of work. It's Monday, but it's the 6th of January. So January. Let's get all of that out of my system. Yeah, so it's a day off from work. So I had extra time to record this. And the topic of this conversation is about fear. There are different types of fear. Like if we go more like phobia based, I would say I don't really have a real phobia, but I don't like ants. I think that's the closest thing to me. I'm very uncomfortable around ants. It's just when there's a lot of them. Not like a couple, like 2-3 ants, or then not a problem. But when it's like a whole colony and it's crawling everywhere on the ground, it unsettles me. I don't want to be near that. I think it might come from when I was a little kid. I was at my grandma's old house in her garden, and I was picking raspberries and eating them. And the thing is, there was a spot on the lawn where there was like ants underground. They didn't have like a physical ant hill outside, so I didn't see it. So I was standing there picking raspberries, and then they started crawling up my leg. So that's like a memory that might have started it. I didn't like that. They bit me. They bit my leg. But then there's also a different type of fear, and that's more a little bit more what I want to mention. And it's like the slow type, like, oh, I don't want to end up in situations like this. And that's like for my life situation, what would be my like biggest nightmare for my life to be. And that would be that I would have to wake up and like make breakfast and immediately go to work all day, get home, not have enough time to do anything that I wanted to do. It's just like, oh yeah, eat dinner, maybe like watch like one episode of a TV show and then have to go to bed, and just live like that, where it's just like, oh, it's work and then almost no home life, and just work, no home life, work, no home life. And then weekends is just like fixing with things. And I do have a lot of free time for my own stuff, but that is like a sort of fear of mine, that I really don't want to be stuck doing, like just keep doing things that I do not enjoy. Like not having time to do the things I enjoy and just see the world and my life go by without me having the time to enjoy it. It's not that uncommon, I think. Sorry, there's a magpie on my balcony. We're having a lot of snow today. It's seeking shelter a little bit. I can let it sit on the edge there. But yeah, I really wouldn't. I would be really unhappy with my life if that ended up being the case. Really, because I have less time now than I did as a kid, and I don't like it. Part of it is that I'm doing YouTube, so like every single day I have to edit a video. That's the part that, like, making a thumbnail only takes a long time when I first start a series, and I have like take my face and put it on the character and do all that. That takes a lot of time thumbnail wise, but then throughout the entirety of the series, making a thumbnail after that does not take long time. It's only the first one that takes time. The first one with a new character. For example, last year when I Let's Played Sly 3, there were continuously new characters that you were able to play as, so I had to put my face on all of those. So then certain ones, the first one with that new character, then those took a long time. And yeah, editing videos takes longer now than it did in the beginning, partially because I record longer videos, but also because I've gotten better at it, and so there are many more things I do to ensure the quality, also the audio stuff. So doing YouTube takes up a lot of my time, but at the same time it's something I want to do, it's something that is fun, but it leaves me with less time for other fun things that I also want to do, and there's not more time, there's always 24 hours a day. So on certain days, that fear sort of manifests itself in a way that I feel a little bit bad that, oh, I should have been able to do more this day. And I really need to work on my skills to not procrastinate, because I tend to do that sometimes. I just need my brain to have a couple of moments where it doesn't have to think. And that can end up being me procrastinating instead, and that's not really good. I shouldn't be doing that, because that's a real time waste. So yeah, really that fear is more of a fear of running out of time, because I have to prioritize things that I might not want to do instead of doing the things I want to do, because those are not as important in a different way. And then, last but not least, we have fears that are not tangible. Like, there's no way this could ever happen, but I still have a vague fear of this. And it's random teleportation. It sounds really weird, but I am actually very scared of being randomly teleported and you don't know when. You don't know to where and you don't know when. And it's just like, yeah, that's not a real thing. It's not going to happen. But it's scary to me, like, oh, if maybe in the middle of the night I get teleported to right outside my door. I don't have my keys on me, so I'm not going to be able to get in. So in the middle of the night, I would have to go outside wearing only my pajamas, going home to my parents, wake them up to get my extra key, and then go back home and unlock it. And who knows, in the process of that, I might get teleported around again and mess things up even worse. Like, that's scary to me. Or like, oh, I'm on my way to work and I get teleported further away, and so I'd be late to work. Or I'm at work in like the company car or something like that, like when I'm delivering mail, and I just get teleported to the next town over and I can't make it back with that car. Like it's like the electric charge in it is not gonna last. Or I don't know the way. Like, we're not allowed to drive those small post vehicles on bigger roads anyway. And it's just weird things like that. Just ending up in situations where it's not my fault, but I'm still I still have the responsibility of trying to fix it. I don't like responsibility. I also kind of fear responsibility. I just want to be. I don't want to be responsible. Remove the responsible part. I just want to be. And it's not so much like the whole, oh yeah, it would be very scary to be randomly teleported, like, oh, into a volcano or to the depths of the ocean. I mean, you'd instantly die. So that's scary. But it's more like everyday situations where I would be put into trouble that I would have to solve, and it would be extremely not annoying, but rather like cumbersome, I guess. Or, well, I do also have a slight fear of heights. So that's another thing I've been like combining those two things. When I'm at work, I'm sometimes high up in buildings because people live high up, and then I elevator up and then walk down as I'm delivering the mail. And sometimes there are windows in the stairwells, and I see like another roof across the street perhaps. And my brain just goes to, oh, what if I was teleported onto that roof right now? Or like hanging off the side. It's just really freaks me out. Or to just be put in an extremely awkward social situation like that. Like, oh, I was teleported onto a person's balcony while at work. So I would have to knock on their balcony door, hoping they're home so they can let me out. And try to explain like, oh yeah, I was teleported here. I for sure didn't climb. In that way, it would help me wearing my like post uniform, because then they'd be like, yeah, why would a mailman climb up to the roof and then drop down on my balcony? Like, but then if the person wouldn't be home, then I'd be stuck on that balcony until they got home, or someone else could help me somehow. I mean, I would still have my phone on me, so. But still, it's like weird fears that will never happen. Well, I think I think that has been enough discussions of real and weird made-up fears. It's just a topic I came up with a long time ago. It was the on my list of things to talk about in these discussion videos. To talk about my fears. Different types of fears. That was the oldest one that I hadn't done yet. So now I have done it. And thank you guys so much for watching this. Let me know, like, what do you think of my different random fears? Do you share them, or do you think they're ridiculous? Or it's like, oh, it's not a fear of mine, but I can understand it. And do you have your own, like, weird fears that aren't really something that you would need to fear? Well, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully it won't be as long until next time I do a conversation video. We'll just have to see. It'll happen when it happens. Blibbity blue blue blue. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Boom. Yay. Äntligen sång. Hey. Boom boom. Yay. Watch some videos. Hey. Boom.